Hey guys, today we're going to make shrimp oreganata. This is a super delicious dish. It's really popular here in the New York area. I hope the taste tester is going to like it. Here's all those ingredients. Let's get into it right now. We're going to do the formula again. I'm going to show you all the ingredients. I think it makes it really easy for you, and it actually makes it easy for me too. I recommend you do this when you make any recipe. We'll start over here. We have 1.5 pounds of shrimp. They've been cleaned. Yes, I left the tails on. The tails make it look good. If you take the tails off here, it won't look as good. That's one of the most popular things that I get comments on besides not enough garlic. To address the not enough garlic one, we put enough garlic in this one. We have 6 or 7 cloves of minced garlic. And that garlic is going to be a part of our seasoned breadcrumbs. We have 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. We have 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, a little less than maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Do that to your taste. If you don't like it, don't put any of it in there. Recipe says, I think it says 2 tablespoons of parsley, but I probably have like 3 or 4 here. It'll be fine. The last couple things in those seasoned breadcrumbs is 2 tablespoons of grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. You could also use pecorino romano. A lot of places will use pecorino, and yeah, we're using cheese in a shrimp dish, but that's just typically how it's done. And then 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So that's all for our seasoned breadcrumbs. Obviously we have the shrimp. We're gonna make a little bit of a sauce with it too that has white wine, and that's 1/4 cup of dry white wine. I'm using Sauvignon Blanc here. That's typically the wine that I use for a dry white wine. I have 3/4 cup of low sodium chicken stock. I have a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, lemon wedges to serve on top of it at the end, which is great. And then we have butter. I have 6 tablespoons of cold butter cubed. That's what's going to make the sauce. If you look at the pictures, if you're referencing the recipe that's on my website, I use 2 plates, but the liquid and everything is the amount for 1 large baking dish. And today I think we'll change it up and do it all in this pie dish, which, you know, it's made for a pie, but it'll be perfect for our shrimp oreganata. So the first thing we have to do is make our seasoned breadcrumbs. I have our burner here, and I just have a non-stick pan. I'm going to heat this up to about medium low. And then we'll use about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. The trick here when you're making reganata, whether it's shrimp, clams, fish, you know, and it's made like, I have salmon on my site. People like it with flounder, cod. You just want your breadcrumbs to have enough moisture in them so they don't get burnt when it goes into the oven. If you make them a little too wet, all you gotta do at the end is just broil it. So 3 tablespoons of olive oil here. That looks like to be about 3 tablespoons. And here's our 6 cloves of minced garlic. That's really an arbitrary thing because you can have garlic that's really large. You can have like the elephant garlic, and then you have this little garlic from Whole Foods that they sell, these little tiny heads that are like, if you take 6 cloves of that, you're gonna be left with not too much. So it really depends what type of garlic you're using, but use as much as you like, and lots of people love a lot of garlic. I find that you got to be a little careful with it. You can overpower a dish, and then really all you're doing is making a garlic dish. So I think there's like, you know, you have to be judicious about it, you know, but again, personal taste. You can set your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. This is all going to come together really quickly. Right now the garlic is a little golden, it's fragrant. You turn off the heat on here so you don't burn it. Remember, we're going to be cooking the garlic longer in the oven. So the heat's off, and we'll put in our 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. If you want more breadcrumbs in this dish, go up to 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup, really whatever you want. And that's often what I'll do, like say like you have thin fish, so 1 pound of flounder will have a lot more surface area than 1 pound of salmon. So you might need a little bit more breadcrumbs for the flounder. I'm gonna put the cheese in. That was 2 tablespoons of Parmigiano Reggiano, about 2 tablespoons of the parsley, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Remember, my heat's off now, guys. You can even just pop it off the burner. And then I am gonna measure the lemon juice, just so we have an exact recipe here that, you know, so you're following the exact same one on the site. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice in there. Lemon juice is great now, but it's even better at the end. That's why we cut those wedges, because those wedges, after it's out of the oven and it's sitting, then you squeeze it on top and you have it with your bread here. We have all the bread over there, you know, to soak up all the sauce. Our breadcrumbs are right here. Our oven is getting up to 425 degrees, and the shrimp are completely thawed, and they were sold this way, cleaned, deveined, and just the tails left on. If you really don't want the tails, you can remove them here, but it makes it look nicer, so we'll leave them. What we do want to do is just dry this shrimp off, so I'm just going to put it on the cutting board, and I'm going to take some paper towels and just try to remove some of that moisture from it. So here is our 1.5 pound of 16 to 20 shrimp. If you have larger, you'll just cook these for a couple more minutes in the oven. Simple as that, guys. And I think this dish is perfect for what we're trying to do. A lot of times a little dish, and you'll see in the recipes, the recipe on my site, it has a little tiny dish I used, and I had about 10 shrimp, and you arrange them just to kind of like prop up so the tail is pointing upwards and makes it look nice. So you can try to do something like that here. You know, do the best you can, or maybe just like that. But I'm gonna end up putting some in the middle too. All right, so I'm gonna put them all around the edge here. So the shrimp are all kind of arranged, left a little bit of area open in the middle. We're gonna put our liquid in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper on the shrimp. You don't need to go overboard because your seasoned breadcrumbs are all going on top of it. So here's the breadcrumbs. If you don't think you have enough and you can kind of eyeball it now, here, you can be like, oh, well, if I need a little bit more, just add a couple more tablespoons of the dried ones. But I think we're good. And the breadcrumbs have cooled enough, so I'm just gonna take them like this, and I'm just gonna kind of arrange them a little bit on top of each one. Now, if you have larger shrimp, and again, the pictures have the larger shrimp, you'll be able to kind of like tuck it almost inside of them, but it's not a big deal using the little ones. It's nice with either one. And the garlic in the breadcrumbs is gonna, you know, some of it's gonna come out. It's gonna go into the pan here with our stock and the wine and the butter, and it makes the most delicious butter sauce. That's why you wanna have a lot of bread here to scoop up all the sauce. You don't need a lot of breadcrumbs, but you can use a lot if you like. 3/4 cup of our chicken stock. Now you could also use like clam broth or something, or shrimp stock, obviously, if you have it. This will be the simplest thing for you. That's fine. And then the 3/4 cup, not 3/4 cup, the 1/4 cup of wine or 2 ounces. All right, so I have 6 tablespoons of butter. You can also, if your breadcrumbs look a little bit too dry here, you can touch it up with a little bit of olive oil, but you know, these look pretty good. They're pretty moist, so I don't really need to do much. And the butter alone is gonna do plenty. So I'm just gonna arrange it. That's why I cut it up into little cubes like this. And we'll just you can cut it up even smaller pieces before you do this. But we're gonna arrange it all, and we're using 6 tablespoons of butter. So you're gonna have a delicious white wine butter sauce here with the breadcrumbs. Some of the remnants of the breadcrumbs fall into the sauce, thickens it up a little bit. And yeah, I have a little bit left over of the breadcrumbs, just so you see like the amount I used. These are used 16-20. I'm thinking about 8 minutes at 425 degrees. That's on the middle rack. Then I'm gonna bring it up to like second highest rack and hit the broiler up for like 2 minutes to get the breadcrumbs really toasty. Now, the reason it looks like there's a lot less shrimp here is because there are a lot less shrimp. I lost the audio. The audio got messed up on the first try. We did it a second time. It got messed up again. Now it's like an hour later, and I think everything's all right. If you're hearing me, if you're seeing this, that means everything is all right. And the taste tester can come back in and eat more shrimp. Yes, you ate.
It's a good thing I like shrimp.
Yeah, so you ate it a couple times.
I don't mind.
I hope the rating is, well, we'll see what happens.
I don't mind eating this a third time or a fourth time, even if we have to. And the lemon.
Yep, you want the lemon is delicious on it. I know you're eating a lot of shrimp today. And I think you're good. I'm only gonna give you 2.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. More bread too. We went through a half a loaf of bread too.
I am judicious with my bread, so I didn't really eat that much of it. I think it's even better the third time around.
The third time, yeah.
3 times the charm.
So yeah, I mean, what would you think? Like, what does it need different? What's your chief complaint here?
I think it's really good. I'm rating it a 9.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The only thing, maybe a little more breadcrumbs.
Yeah, smaller plate too.
That's
right?
the only thing I would say. But the flavor is spot on. There's a lot of good lemon flavor, certainly like more than enough garlic. The parsley has like a nice freshness. I don't know. I think it's outstanding. But yeah, I mean, if I had to add anything, maybe I would add a little bit more breadcrumbs. So
guys, the original recipe was with a 12-15 shrimp. They're a larger shrimp. You can get more breadcrumbs on them. So a lot of restaurants actually will cut open the shrimp a little bit. They'll make a bigger slit and they'll stuff the breadcrumbs inside of it. So that's going to be the difference there. So I think if you get to 12-15 that I had, you should be fine. With using these to 16-20s, we got a little bit different result, but not a big deal. You could just add a little bit more of those extra breadcrumbs, even just plain breadcrumbs in there to thicken up your sauce. Most of the time what happens is you'll have too much. It'll be a little too thick.